Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to tackle what to say during a business lunch or coffee for business. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through different situations, different venues, different formalities, and different people you're speaking with, and have chunks of phrases and sentences that you can practice, keep in your back pocket, and bring to your next business lunch and smoothly and fluently speak in English. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Melissa B. Duarte. I'm the author of the Global Business English Mastery Series. I'm here for all things business English. Let's jump right in. Okay, the first one is some safe openers. So when you walk into the restaurant, you walk into the cafe, or you sit down, hello, hello, how are you? I mean, that's standard, right? So beyond that, some safe openers that can kind of start the conversation flowing, can get you going, is you can appreciate the choice of restaurant or venue or cafe which the person you're meeting chose. So, good choice, it's quiet enough to talk in here, or good choice, have you been here before? So, just by saying good choice, you're appreciating the fact that they chose, or their company chose, or their assistant chose this location. So, that's really nice one. Oh, good choice, it seems quiet enough to hold a conversation here. Good choice. The food looks delicious. Good choice. I love the location. Good choice. I like the atmosphere. So that's just very nice to say good choice. You don't need to say you made a good choice, just good choice, and then go into complimenting something. So you're complimenting them by they chose a good venue, and you appreciate an element about the place they have there. So, and once you talk about that a little bit, and you can just say, how's your week going so far? How has your week been so far? These are both very standard when it comes to small talk, but this is nice. You just say, how's your week going so far? Or how has your week been going so far? And this just means from Monday. So you wouldn't say this on Monday. You wouldn't say this on Monday, but from Tuesday to Friday. This is perfect. So, how's your week going so far? The person you're speaking with will fill you in on what they've been working on, or what they are hoping to work on, or what they've been doing, what's happening in their work life since Monday. Because the week, when we say the week, we don't include Saturday, Sunday. That's the weekend. So when we say the week, it's Monday to Friday. It's business days. So how's your week going so far? How has your week been going? And they're going to fill you in on what happened since Monday morning until that moment you're speaking. And so this is really, it's kind of just set it and forget it. You say that sentence and they're going to really fill you in on what they've been working on. So this, they'll take the floor, they'll be speaking, and they'll probably throw that same question back to you. What about you? How's your week been going so far? So then you need to fill them in on what's been happening since Monday up into that. Okay, so you have your menus. You've already asked the person who invited you, or the people who invited you, what their go to meal is, or what their go to order is on the menu. Now the waiter can come by, and the waiter can give you the specials. And the specials are things that are off the menu. They're actually not written in the menu, or they're not in the QR code on the website. So specials for the day. Now, if they don't offer you any of the specials, they don't offer to present them to you, you can always ask, what specials do you have? Or do you have any specials today? Now, when you are selecting what you want to eat, you can say go with. And go with means this is my choice. So you have your menu. Oh, I think I'll go with the chicken. Or what would you recommend going with? Or you ask the person you're meeting with, what are you going with? I'm thinking about going with the pasta, but I'm not so sure. What are you going with? So this is a very nice way to kind of ask people their opinion, ask people what they're doing, and instead of saying, "What are you eating? What are you ordering?" Go with is a lot more fluent and a lot more natural. It's very common for that one. Another thing here to keep in mind is little bits of food. Words in English, they do have silent letters. So if you're ordering lamb, that B is always silent. If you're ordering salmon, that L is always silent. So be careful with that one there. Now, if you're ordering water for the table, there is still or sparkling. Still water is just regular water. Sparkling water has the bubbles, it's carbonated. So they can say still or sparkling, and that just means, do you want your water regular mineral water, or do you want it sparkling carbonated water? So I'll have a bottle of sparkling water, please. And that's what you can say there. Now, as you go through and you're taking a look at what you want to order, you say, I'll go with this. And you can say, would you recommend anything, as a starter? Now, a starter, there's a couple different words for starters in English. We have appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, and starters. These are just small little plates of food you eat before your main dish. So if you are at a proper restaurant where you're going to be there for quite a few hours or quite a long lunch meeting, sometimes you do want to have a starter. So you can choose your starter. Again, starter, appetizer, or hors d'oeuvre. Those are your little bits to begin with. And then you can order your main or your main dish. Now, when you do order a main dish, for example, you order chicken and you order chicken, you can ask, what are the sides or what does it come with? And this just means what's on the plate with the main thing you're ordering. So let's say you order roasted chicken and what does it come with? What are the sides? And that just means, oh, it comes with potatoes. It comes with a salad. So then you can make sure that you order the sides that you want. Can I swap, the French fries or the chips? British English say chips. And then in North America, we say fries. Can I swap the fries with the salad, please? Yeah, no problem. We can swap that for you. And swap just means exchange. So once you get that going and you've placed your order, then you're just going to go ahead and wait for your order to come. Then you're going to transition into a bit more small talk. Let's get started next with that. Okay, next one is pretty tricky. So when it comes to business lunches, sometimes there's some awkward moments with alcohol. So let's take a look here. So depending on what culture you're from, where your meeting is, or where you're having lunch or coffee, sometimes alcohol can be involved, especially in a restaurant. More in a restaurant than a cafe, but still, alcohol can come into play. And depending on your relationship with alcohol and business, it can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable. So there's a couple different phrases we can use here. So someone comes up, maybe the people you're with, they go, oh, should we get a bottle of wine for the table? And you'll say, okay, maybe for you, one glass of wine over a business lunch or business dinner is fine. So okay, sounds good. Or if you don't want to drink or you don't drink, just say, I'll stick to water. That's totally fine. I'll stick to water. I have a big day ahead. I'll stick to water. I have a lot of meetings to get to afterwards. So that's fine. Or I'll just have one, then I'll switch to water. I have a lot going on this afternoon. Or I'll just have one and I'll switch to water. I have a lot to do this evening. So that's totally fine to say you don't. If people, I've been on business trips to Mexico City. Oh, and I don't drink very much. And having a meeting with mezcal or mezcali, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And it's tricky. You have to kind of tell them, okay, just one, that's fine. You kind of culturally, it's an important thing to have that one little drink for some cultures. But it's totally fine to go just one and that's good. And I'll switch to water. Hold your ground. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You're not going to insult them. And I was okay having one, but other people would have zero. And if you have zeros, sorry, no, that's not for me. And they're just going to have to deal with it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do when it comes to a business lunch. So just take it as it is. If you feel comfortable, have one. If you don't want more than one, don't have more than one. Now, sometimes different cultures, the alcohol does flow a little bit more in business meetings. It can be quite uncomfortable. Maybe you don't hold your alcohol very well. Hold your alcohol means you can't handle a lot of drinks. So you can say, listen, I have to pace myself. I have a lot of meetings today. I'm not used to this type of drink. I'll have one. So this is kind of tricky. You can say, I'm going to keep it light. So this is kind of when people are offering you alcohol, which again, in some cultures, this does happen in business over lunch, over dinner. And if this is not something that you're comfortable with or you don't usually do, then you have to remain professional, which means by not drinking too much. And so these are little phrases you can say. I'm going to keep it light today. I'll just have one and I'll switch to water. Thanks so much. And if you do enjoy a drink or two when it comes to lunch or business dinners, that's fine. And to say that sounds great. Thanks. I'll have a beer with my lunch. That sounds great. Thank you. And that's perfectly fine. But make sure the other people you're with are also ordering it. You don't want to be that one person who's drinking and other people aren't. It's just kind of the way it goes. So just make sure you know what other people are ordering. Don't feel pressured to drink if you don't want to drink, or have one if you only want to have one. Don't feel pressured to have more than you feel comfortable with, and you can be professional with. Okay, now so you've ordered your food. And you're probably talking a little bit of business here. Now, let's take a look at what happens when there's interruptions and some phone etiquette. So, we work in business. Our phones are our lifeline to our business. I mean, phones have to be there. You have to have your phone with you. Now, if this is a very important business meeting, you just say, "Give me a second, I'll silence my phone." So if your phone vibrates, then you could look, right, to see if it's something important, or just take off the vibration if there's nothing important that you're expecting to come in during that lunch meeting. That's really good etiquette. But you do want to silence your phone. At least, again, you'll have a buzz. You can hear the vibration of your phone. If something comes in, you can quickly look at it, but make sure your phone is silenced unless I mean, you're in a crisis mode at work, or something really big could be happening where you have to take phone calls, or you're expecting a phone call. Then don't put it in silence, but then let the person know. Just say, "Listen, I'm waiting for a really important phone call about this, or from client this, and if the call comes in, I have to take it." And if you do take that call, step out. Don't take a call at the table with someone. It's poor etiquette. It's not very nice. Just stand up and just walk to the side of the restaurant, walk to the front of the cafe, and take that phone call. Otherwise, just take it quickly if you can't get up and walk away, and just say, "Sorry, I'm having a lunch meeting right now. I'll call you back in half an hour or in 1 hour." Best thing to do in most situations, though, silence your phone. Just use a vibration. And if it is something important, or you notice it's someone very important that sent you a message, or they called you and you did not take that phone call, then tell the person you're speaking with and eating with, and just say, "Listen, I just got to send a quick message that I'll call them back after lunch." Nobody minds that. That's perfectly fine phone etiquette. Now, if the person you're with, if their phone rings and I mean, depending on who you're meeting with. I mean, you could be meeting with a prospective employer, you could be meeting with a prospective client, you could be meeting with the board of directors, you could be meeting with partners, you could be meeting with colleagues, a whole bunch of different people. So if you're in a situation where someone's phone rings, or they get a couple messages coming in, and they're looking at you as if they're a little bit unsure if they should be taking that phone call, you can just say, feel free to take that phone call. It's no problem for me. Or feel free to look at your messages. Feel free to get back to the person. It's totally fine. So that kind of takes the pressure off the etiquette involved when it comes to phones over food, because there is a level of etiquette that's pretty difficult. Now, if your phone is buzzing and buzzing and vibrating, sorry, I have to take a look at this. Give me a second. And you just and really just kind of look at it quickly and scan if it's important, and then just say, "Listen, I have to reply to them quickly. I'll be back with you in 2 seconds." Pop in your reply, send it, that's it, and then get back to your conversation. "Thanks for that. Sorry about that." And people don't mind. I mean, this is business. We have to stay connected. Sometimes people cannot wait 1 hour for an answer, so that's totally fine. Okay, so your food comes finally. So again, you are at a business lunch, or a business dinner, or a cafe, and you've ordered food. So the food has come, and now you have to have a little bit of small talk, some sentences you can put into different situations. So first off, one thing that's pretty standard, well, very standard in the English speaking world, is you don't start eating until everyone's received their plate at the table. Not every culture is like this. So if you are doing business in English and you're meeting with native English speakers, or you're representing an English speaking company, or you're presenting yourself in English, then this is the standard. You really do not touch your plate of food until everyone at the table has received their plate. However, in some cultures and in some countries, they just bring food to your table as it's ready. I live in Spain, and this is what they do here. Even nice restaurants will just bring my plate of food before everyone else at the table. They don't necessarily bring it all at the same time. They bring it when it's hot and ready. So if my paella arrives here in front of me, and the person I'm meeting with, they have to wait 15 minutes, 10 minutes for their plate, well, my food is going to be cold, right? So there is a fine line, knowing different restaurants, knowing different cultures. In some places where you do meet, the food will not come at the same time. So buyer beware. I mean, be aware of the culture you're meeting with, be aware of the environment you're in, be aware of the cuisine you're having and the style of the restaurant. So if this is, but this is something quite important, but it is very standard to wait until everyone has received their meal. Usually people's meals, if they only come one at a time, it's going to be a matter of minutes, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. No big deal. You can wait. Now, if it is a longer wait, then you can say, listen, do you mind if I have a couple bites? And they'll go, of course, go ahead. But at least have that little bit of etiquette there saying, do you mind if I have a couple bites? Because your food's taking a long time. You don't want to finish your entire plate of food until the other people at the table have received their food, because that's just strange. You're going to be sitting there waiting, watching them eat. And that's not very conducive to a business meeting at all. So you want to make sure that you do wait till everyone receives their food. That's very important. Now, if someone else receives their food before you and it's piping hot and steaming and it looks delicious, you just say, go ahead, don't wait for me. Or please dig in. Dig in and start eating. Please dig in. That looks delicious. Don't wait for me. And on the flip side, if someone says that to you, then you can go ahead and have a couple bites. Again, don't polish off your plate. Polish means completely finish your plate. Don't do that, because then someone's going to be watching someone else eat at the table. It's just a little strange. So just really pick away. Pick away means eat small amounts. Pick away at your plate. Eat slowly until everyone's received their meal. That's pretty important. Another thing here, when the food does come, if all the food arrives at the same time, hopefully it does, that makes it so much more less awkward, so much more comfortable. If your food all comes around the same time, then and everyone's waiting for each other, comes within a minute, and let's dig in. Or that looks great, let's dig in. And dig in just means start eating. But it's like dig in as if you're really going to enjoy the meal, which is nice. And again, it's really nice to compliment other people's meals. Or that looks delicious, that salmon. What's on the side of that salmon? Is that asparagus? I love asparagus. Or you can say, you went with the lamb. I was thinking about going for the lamb, but I didn't. But I'm glad I went with what I had. But maybe next time I come here, I'll go for the lamb. So it's just very, again, we had before, to go with means to choose to order. And it's a very nice way to compliment someone else's meal. That's perfectly fine to do. Now, if you don't like the food, make sure you have a poker face. It's a business meeting. It's a business meeting. So even if you're splitting the bill, if you're going Dutch, to go Dutch means split the bill 50-50. Or if you are footing the bill, and to foot the bill means to pay for the bill, all of it. Or if the people you're meeting with, if they are paying the entire bill, they're footing the bill. Doesn't matter who's paying. Still, you don't want to see anything negative. It just kind of brings the mood down. So even if you're paying for everything, or you're paying for your portion, and you don't like something, just don't say it. And anything negative just brings down the atmosphere, brings down the whole sense. Just avoid anything negative. So if you order your chicken and it's dry and it's not very good, try to keep a poker face. Some people my husband cannot do this. If he doesn't like the food, you can see it on his face. And it's not ideal. It's not ideal in some situations. So try your best to keep a poker face if you don't like your food, and focus on things that you do like. So, these potatoes are perfectly roasted. So try to say something positive, find something positive. Okay, so we talked a little bit about etiquette over meals in the English speaking world. We talked about alcohol, how to politely say no, thank you, or to keep it low with the amount that you're taking in. We talked about waiting for the people to be served. There's another little bit of etiquette that goes along here. And let's talk about phone etiquette too. So not taking phone calls during meals, or keeping them very, very quick, or silence to the side. So we talked about a lot of etiquette. One thing I have to make sure I mention is not talking with food in your mouth. And this is something some people will watch this video go, yeah, everyone knows that. Well, no, not everyone knows that. I work globally, and not every culture is the same. Their habits are different when it comes to food. So some cultures do happily talk with food in their mouths. In the English speaking, so if you do that, that's your culture. In the English speaking world, we don't speak with food in our mouths at all. And this can be really tricky when you're having a business lunch. I mean, it's conversation and food together. So how do you manage this? So truly keep your bites of food small. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's kind of like being at the dentist. You're at the dentist, right? And they ask you a question and their hands are in your mouth. How am I supposed to answer that question? Same thing goes along with business lunches. So keep your bites small. Keep your bite small. If you're eating pasta, just put a little bit on that fork. So you have seconds. So as soon as that food goes into your mouth, someone asks you a question. It's a matter of seconds. And you can put your finger up while you're chewing. If someone asks you a question quick and it means you're chewing and you're swallowing and then respond to them, or just have a small bite of food so it's only a matter of seconds until you can respond to them. Again, a lot of cultures, surprisingly, even when it comes to business, I mean, they will have a big bite of food in their mouth on one cheek and they'll be talking out the other side. That's not standard in English. It's definitely not standard in business English. Do not talk with food in your mouth at all. It's just not allowed. It's a big no-no. And every culture is different, but this is what the standard is in English. So take small bites of food. So when a question comes to you, which it's just Murphy's Law. If you don't know Murphy's Law, it's like what can go wrong will go wrong. It's Murphy's Law. As soon as you put a bite of food in your mouth, someone's going to ask you a question. So keep that bite of food really small, and then at least you can respond to them. If you do have quite a lot of food in your mouth, you can just cover your mouth while you're responding to them. If it's getting kind of awkward, they ask you a question and it's silence and you have to respond, then you can at least cover your mouth so they don't see any food if you're chewing it. But that's a standard for business English. Do not talk with food in your mouth. Okay, so now you finish your meal, and people who you're meeting with will ask you, how was your meal? Or the waiter could ask, how was your meal? And again, avoid saying anything negative. So if they come by and say, how was your meal? Or the waiter comes by and says, how's your meal? Or the people you're meeting with say, how was your meal? And if you didn't like it, just go, it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed the potatoes. So it wasn't bad means it was good, but you're not saying it was great. So it wasn't bad. Thank you. Or again, if something was not good, focus on what was good. Oh, the potatoes were dynamite. Dynamite means fantastic. Very, very good. And so that's one thing. So then, of course, then the table's going to be around going, okay, should we have coffee? Do you guys want dessert? Do you want tea? So I mean, if you want a coffee, order a coffee. Oh, yeah, coffee sounds great. Oh, coffee would really hit the spot. Now, to hit the spot means I have a need or desire for a certain type of food, and that will completely hit the spot. As it like a target. A target has the red circles in the little center, and if you're bow and arrow, like archery, and that hits the target, it hits the spot. So a coffee will completely hit the spot now. And coffee will really hit the spot, or a tea will really hit the spot. I'd love to have a tea. So that's a perfect way of saying, yes, I'd love that. Or if it comes to dessert and you are not able to eat any more food, just say, I'm done. I can't fit in a dessert. I'm full. I can't eat another bite. And that just means I don't have any space. I'm full. So I'm full. I can't eat another bite. I'm done. No more food for me. I'll just go with a coffee. So that's just a nice way of declining a dessert. If you do want a dessert, you can ask people if they've been there before, what would you recommend? Or, do you want to share something? If you're close, I wouldn't do if it's like a client or something, but if it's colleagues, you can share a dessert. But what would you recommend? What would you go for? And again, you can always ask the waiter, what would you recommend for a light dessert or something quite rich or something chocolatey? You can get recommendations there. But again, if you don't want dessert, say you don't want dessert by just saying, I'm done. I'm completely full. I have no more space for anything else. I'll just have a little coffee. Okay. So you've sat down, you've had your meal, you've had your business lunch, you've had your dessert, your coffee. It's time to go. It's time to pay. And this can be awkward. This can be very awkward. Sometimes you just don't know the etiquette for different cultures. You don't know the situation for it. So there's different things you can say here. So first of all, let's go over some vocabulary. First of all, one is to foot the bill. To foot the bill means to pay the entire bill. So you can say, I'll foot the bill for this one, or my company's footing the bill. And this just means I'm going to pay the entire bill, or my company's paying the entire bill. Or can we go Dutch on this? Shall we go Dutch on this? Which means, shall we split the bill? Which just means you're going to split the bill 50-50. You're not going to add up and calculate what one person ordered and what another person ordered. Usually if it's 3 people, you just divide the bill 3 ways. That's kind of the standard. I mean, every culture is different, but that's pretty much the standard. You don't want to kind of, I mean, it could be a difference of $3 if you do get different people's meals. So either you split the bill, you go Dutch, or you foot the bill and you cover everything. Now, sometimes it's a little awkward. So then you can ask people what they want to do. Like, what should we do here? Should we split the bill 3 ways, or do you want me to cover it and you guys get it next time? So that's how you can say it. And of course, if you are expected to pay for the meal, you can say, this is on me. I'll get this one. And again, if someone invites you to something, usually they will pay the bill, or you're going to split it 50-50. Very rarely someone invites you and expects you to pay. Very rarely. But if you are invited to a business meeting, or you're holding the business meeting and you're not so sure what the etiquette's going to be, I'll get this one, you get the next one, or you got the last one, let me get this one. So again, either you're splitting the bill, one person's paying the entire bill, or you're going to go back and forth, which means you'll meet at the same restaurant or a different restaurant next week or next month, and that one person will get this meal, another person gets the next one. Okay, so you're done. You had your business meeting, you had your lunch, you had your dinner, and you've paid, or someone else has paid, and you get up and you leave. So it's very important to thank the other person. It doesn't matter if you split the bill. It doesn't matter if you foot the entire bill. Still thank them for their time. Thank you so much. This was great. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much. That was a fantastic meal. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thanks so much for your time. So just thanking people appreciates them for their time. It's not about thanking them for the meal necessarily. I mean, if they did foot the entire bill for the meal, thank you. That was a delicious meal, and I really enjoyed meeting you. But if it was just something where you split the bill, or even you paid, still thank them for their time. And then as you're going to ask them what they're doing now. Are you heading back to the office? Where are you off to next? And or if it's a Friday night or a Friday afternoon, I guess I'll see you on Monday. Thanks so much. Or I'm looking forward to the next time we get together. Okay, we did it. We had a business lunch. I hope you found a lot of value in this video today, and you have some great phrases and techniques and tools that you can use in your next business lunch or business dinner, and you're a bit more comfortable conducting business over food and over lunch or dinner. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this video, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like the video. It helps me grow. And let me know down below in the comments of other areas of business that are just not standard business areas, where English is kind of a mystery, not knowing what to say or what to do in certain situations. And I'll make a video for you guys on it. Thank you so much for joining me.